trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma.
Greetings, divine creators. This is Coach Najee, and I'm back again with another episode of Demystifying the Tarot. All right, we're jumping into the mystery wheel, or as a lot of people call it, the Wheel of Fortune. So when we're looking at this card is really the giving you the breakdown of what the tarot is in so many different ways. I'm going to do it from the logical standpoint first, so you can enter and understand what's really going on here. So we're looking at 10. 10 is talking about completion, renewal, sometimes overkill, endings, things that are ending, things that are about to begin. When we're looking at this, we're starting to see, this is how I describe the tarot. I tell people to keep it really simple. There are the astrological signs, and there are the planets. And then we see there are the four elements. When your spirit, soul, energy, whatever you want to call it, incarnates here, it's like the universe takes a snapshot. When they take a snapshot of the picture, there's the order of the planets, there's a certain planet, and there's a certain astrological sign that was lined up when you came through. Now, when we start to recognize about the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So what this is telling us is that the one thing that scales across all sizes is geometry. So we know that everything is light-based codes. Because we know that everything is based in light, well, guess what? Light is connected to sound. Sound is connected to vibration. Everything is vibration, everything is light and sound. So what we're starting to see here is that even our DNA, down to the smallest tiny bits, contain information, these pieces of that geometric code that help us operate in the world. Why is this card so important? So it's showing us that one, there's astrological signs, there are the physical planets. When the soul comes in, boom, it's made of the elements, the four elements, which are symbolic here. Leo, these are all fixed signs, so fixed fire, Taurus, earth, Aquarius, air, Scorpio, water. It's showing us that the sword, remember the sword in tarot is symbolic for thoughts, thought processes, mind. So this is the Sphinx showing, you're looking at the chakras. From the heart chakra above is human, and this is the process of learning to master one's animal appetites. Or ego, shadow self, do the shadow work. This is mastery over the lower planes. This is why the human part's up top. So we're starting to see here that there's these two creatures, and they're showing you the patterns and cycles and the process of life. It's cyclical. This card is describing things go out of favor, out of fortune, things come into favor, into fortune, and it is very cyclical. It's a process. It's a predetermined process. Now, when we're looking at this card is really talking to you about patterns. It's associated with Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of luck. Now, when we get into luck, we start to say, well, it was luck that this happened. There's no such thing as luck as we know it. It's possibility, probability, and plausibility all mixing together with human consciousness. When we see the wheels, we start to recognize that all of us are interconnected. Our beliefs sometimes separate us in terms of our perspective, but fundamentally, we share the planets, the astrological signs, the elements. We eat, we sleep, we use the bathroom, we blah, 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 blah. We have so many similarities as human beings. The wheel is symbolic. So there's also the words T-A-R-O-T, so tarot is written inside of here. And then this goes into the name of God, tetragrammaton, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I want to keep it more on the practical side. The practical side is that this card is telling the person that it depends on where this card is drawn in the process. But the person needs to check in with their thoughts, emotions, desires, and actions. Because as long as these things are fixed, imagine there's something fixed in this thing. The wheel's always going to spin a certain way. If you alter or you bring to awareness one of these emotions or thoughts that are fixed and the person changes that, guess what? Boom, the wheel spins differently. If the person has a limiting belief about money, or the person has a very strong desire that's rooted in fear, that's going to affect the way the wheel spins. Very crucial, very important. So when you're doing a tarot reading for self-awareness, and you're not just flipping cards and waving your hands and throwing things out there, you want the client to start to enter and understand the patterns that are governing their life. The thing that makes them, so they want to discover the things that don't make them feel like the Sphinx. They want to be the Sphinx. They want to be the master of their own life. They want to live life on their own terms. They want to literally get an edge on life. They literally want the ability to choose life now and transform their problems into power. That's what they want. They want to enter and understand. They want to know why things are and what they can do about it and how they can do it. And more importantly, who's doing it. They want results. This is trying to illustrate to them that there are patterns. When you see the pattern, you can break the pattern. When you can't see the pattern and it happens unconsciously and automatically, then you suffer. So the wheel of fortune becomes the wheel of fate. And then the wheel of fate and fortune become the wheel of luck. And then that luck becomes the wheel of prosperity or ill or bad fortune. So what we're seeing here is the wheel is talking about the cycle of life. And oftentimes when we draw this card as a tarot reader, it's like, oh, I don't know what this means. There's too much going on. Actually, no, this card is one of the most obvious ones. Telling you thoughts, emotions, desires, and will, actions need to be checked. What cyclical patterns going on? What planet is involved here? What's their astrological sign? What planet is having more influence? What element is out of balance here? Notice everything here is balanced. This whole card is really dealing with symmetry. So you can go online and you start to look up the different meanings of Wheel of Fortune and good luck and prosperity and the gods are in your favor. That's the wishy-washy approach to it. This approach is saying, all right, let's look at what's working. Let's look at what's not working. Let's look at what could be working. And you don't know, and let's look at what's not working and what you don't know. Now you're starting to bring everything into your awareness. When you bring it into your awareness, that's when you're able to remain sovereign and stable as a power player. As a power player. Upside down, we have a person who is unaware and ignorant of the patterns. And when you're unaware and you're ignorant of patterns, guess what? That's going to create bad luck. Very simple. So everybody loves to talk about this card, the luck card. Well, guess what? Jupiter's not on your side when you're in ignorance. So if that's the case, if luck favors the bold, that means luck, probability, possibility, and plausibility favor people who are conscious and aware. Upside down, ignorance seems to be bliss, but in your ignorance, there's a lot of suffering which can be removed, which is part of your own power. So, this is actually the awesome little coin right here. Bring it closer. This is the will. This is the wheel of life, right there. They sell these at dead on paper. Amazing craftsmanship. Amazing. The detail. We just finished that, huh? Attention to detail with Virgo. That is some Virgo type stuff right there. Okay, so what we're looking at here is unawareness, ignorance, unconscious, and on automated patterns. Wherever this card lands, depending on the question, will give you a little more insight to what's really going on. But this is what we're looking at. Powerful card. So the wheel in summary, is really talking about the influences of patterns on our lives. When we're able to tap into and recognize what patterns are actually going on, then you're able to change your situation. Now, how do you help somebody find or discover a pattern when this card is drawn? Well, we want to start tapping into the information that's already present. How do you discover an unknown? You start linking information that is supposedly seemingly unrelated together to where you can come to a conclusion. So this is critical thinking, analytical thinking, systematic thinking, creative thinking. All these types of thinking allows you to think outside the box and pull in information and associations in order for you to see something versus just compare and contrast. Holistic systematic thinking allows you to say, wait a minute, if this is off balance, well, let's get an example. A person comes in and they're trying to find out, if they have an entity on them or something like that. Well, the first thing you want to look at is, wait a minute, the question they're asking, they obviously don't have the answer for. And I know everything is interconnected. Well, the first thing is, if there is an entity, first I got to find out the state of their emotions, their thoughts, their desires, and actions. I want to see, wait a minute, what patterns would make this person susceptible to an entity. So this critical thinking allows you to gather information and use your own intuitive thinking or processing to pull in information in order for you to come up with something useful and worthwhile. So when we're looking at this card, it carries a lot of weight. Like they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but imagine if someone puts all these images of astrology and astronomy and numerology and symbology in one package. This is a powerful image. All right? So until next time, go ahead. I want you to heal trauma, stop drama, end karma, so you can be unconditionally you, because it's time to live life on your terms. Now, some of you thinking, how the heck do I do that? How do I heal trauma, stop drama, and end karma? Well, wait a minute, do I really want to end karma? Well, we're talking about bad karma. Well, if you want help with that, if you actually are interested in saying, wait a minute, I'm kind of sick and tired of life being the way it is. I want to change, I want to upgrade. I really want to live life on my own terms. I want to really see what it feels like to consciously create my life versus being on autopilot. Go ahead and visit my website, www.positivepatterns.org, and go ahead and book that consultation call, and we can see how I can serve you. All right? Till next time, later.